2016, and sleep is the number one thing we can do for our bodies. We actually stay awake longer and live longer and better.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, Alzheimer's is, I think many of us, I'm assuming our age group, many of us are in similar age groups. And I think one of the things we're scared about the most, and Carrie Lynn, I see your comment, I'm going to comment on in a second. Many of us are worried about our brain. This is what we're worried about. We got so far, we figured out some physical issues that we've had along the way, and now we want to make sure our brain gets intact. The same concept applies that you're doing for your body and your gut and your skin and your inflammation is the same thing you need to do for your brain. It is so critical. So even if you have the genes, just because you have the genetic predisposition does not mean you're guaranteed to get it. Just like diabetes, right? Just like as grandma has diabetes, you still have to eat the sugar to get the diabetes. Same is true for Alzheimer's. Dad has it. That just means you have to work a little bit harder. But I just want to empower you to let you know that that does not in any way have to be your future. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Of course. I see Carrie Lynn says, I'm a person that works best in the afternoon and loves to stay up late and sleep in late. Has taken some gumption to go against the idea of get up early. Listen, my opinion, when my patients tell me I wake up early to exercise, I'm like, incorrect. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. You cannot forego sleep to exercise. You haven't done anything with that. It's like you took out of one bank account and just put like it doesn't work. So I would love for you, if you stay up late and you sleep in late and you're getting your 7 to 9, who's better than you? You got it in 7 to 9 hours. That's awesome. But if that works for you, great. But if you're gonna wake up at 5 o'clock to get it in, you're just gonna exhaust yourself. You're gonna burn out. Yeah, that's such a good share.
That's one of the things I talk about with people is trying to like go against your natural rhythm. It sounds like the three of us at least are a batch of what I've heard called wolves. We're just sort of like night shifted type people. And I guess what I want to chime in and say is that can change a little bit. One of the things that happened for me with cancer treatment is that trying to be up and sharp and boom, 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 first thing in the morning. It used to be something I was able to do, and now it's not very effective. And after that, the timing shifted. It used to be that I was perfectly happy going to bed at 11:30, 12 o'clock, whatever it might be. But I don't think I became a morning person. I just shifted. I still have that afternoon is better energy than morning reality. So don't feel like you have to fit yourself into a box, I guess is where I'm heading with this. And
Yeah.
don't feel like you have to push hard against the natural grain of who you are.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of benefit, but not at all costs. So there is a lot of benefit to work with, waking up when the sun is up and coming down. Because what happens if you can be aligned with that, and I'll speak to those who can't in a moment, but if you can be aligned with that chemically, what happens to your brain when your brain sees the sun, the chemicals that are released, and then throughout the day, melatonin, believe it or not, starts to be released during the day in response to the sun because it knows sleep is coming. So trying to get into that rhythm is really helpful, but that doesn't mean you force yourself to wake up to be there and then you're exhausted all day, because a lot of people post chronic illness, cancer, autoimmunity, they have something called adrenal fatigue. I don't know if anyone spoke about adrenal fatigue, but adrenal fatigue is really real. And if your cortisol levels are just not there, you just can't wake up. You are not lazy. You are not a bum. You are not crazy. You have no fuel in your car. And especially people with adrenal fatigue, if they try to work out because their doctor says, if you just work out, you'll have energy. And you try to work out and you actually have to take a 2-hour nap after that. By the way, that's a classic sign of adrenal fatigue. So, and that's not because you're lazy. And it's great that your neighbor feels great after working out and then he can go bake cookies and you're on the sofa. It's not because you're lazy. It's because you have no gas. So there is something to perhaps try to get to because there are so many benefits, but certainly not at all costs. And if you are that tired at different times, you might want to consider cortisol testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Or
let's
exercising for 10 minutes instead of 45.
1000%, 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Autumn says, can you give suggestions that might help people have trouble getting to sleep at night?